drowning prevention, because in South Florida, you can always be near the water, always. And you know what? It's our obligation as parents
Yep.
to teach our kids how to swim.
Because-
And it's a level. And what they told me is it's not just teaching your kids to swim. It's not just putting the pool fence. And it's not just watching them. It's the layers of care you have to have for your kids around pools. And in South Florida, the yin and the yang of it, it's beautiful all year round. They get to swim all year round, and water's always near us, and we have to teach our kids
I'll
to
introduce the ladies in a second. The funny thing about swimming is I was told if you can hold your breath, you can swim.
Is that true?
No, that's not true.
And there you go. That's why I'm such a lousy swimmer.
Yeah, the good technique is blow under the water. You breathe through your mouth and you blow in the water, and that's the correct way that you can swim. You have to breathe
But
out.
how do I get the air?
You take the face out, you breathe, and you take inside the water and you blow all the air. You have to regulate all the air with other techniques that you have to use for a good swimming.
We have Allison and Adriana, correct, with
Yes.
us from
Adriana.
David's Swim School. And thank you to Dylan and Ashley for finding them and bringing them and booking them and doing all the jobs that a producer does. And we were just talking briefly before the show. You start working with pregnant moms.
Yeah, well, first than nothing, thank you so much for the time and for share our information. It's really important to know that Florida is one of the first states in all the United States for drowning. For everybody, it's not only for kids, it's for everybody. It's the first cause of death in all the United States.
Is it?
Yes.
Wow.
As you see, the Department of Children, the Department of Health is going to be in there the statistic of drowning every year. And every year is going to increase every more because nobody's doing nothing about this.
This is crazy.
David Hoyo Swimming School is a swimming academy that came from Venezuela since the 80s. My kids are the third generation of this swimming school, and now we're going here in the United States. We have more than 11 years here, so we have a lot of experience trying working with kids and adults. And we start since the pregnancy. We start the second stage of the pregnancy, and we prepare the mother for delivery and easy delivery, and stimulate the baby in the water. Through the different ages, started at the 6th month. They are ready. They had the vaccines. It's really important to know this because sometimes they say, "Oh, at the 3rd month, the baby can go to the water." Yes, but it's really hard for them because they don't have all the vaccine. They don't have all the strong enough in the body for being in the water. So we
All right,
start at the
so
6th month.
I just got to back up. So second trimester, you've got the moms in the water, preparing them for pregnancy. What does that mean if you're not having
You
a
start
water birth?
stimulating and loving the water. So the babies come from the water. So one time that you put in the water is going to be more easy. And delivery is going to be more easy too because the muscles and the delivery way is going to be more stimulate for delivery.
How old is it when you introduce the babies into the water?
I'm sorry?
How old is the child when you introduce them into the water?
6 months.
Okay.
At the 6th month.
Now, I'm going to talk to you as a parent. When you just scared the zippers out of me. So you take a child, if you're going to introduce them into the water, the child is instinctively going to know to hold its breath?
No.
I didn't think so.
Well,
Because
first
I don't even do
I
that.
want to say thank you for this amazing opportunity, Freddie and Dawn. Well, what I've seen with my parents' work is that we just don't take a 6-month-old baby straight to the water.
Right.
There's a process, right? What we do is that we stimulate the babies outside the water with lotion. We rub their arms, kind of do like stretching. It's like a whole process, right? So then we go in the water with the mom and the baby. It has to be both of them. Why? Because the baby's attached to the mom.
Right.
We can't just take a random baby in the water and just go into it, right? There has to be a process. We go easy, start with kicking, stimulating the baby. It gets to a point where the baby is so relaxed that they start floating. And then what we do after that is that we
Oh, man.
yeah,
You're
they
horrified
start
right now.
floating. So then what we do after is
Okay.
that how we put a baby underwater is that this is how we do it. We blow in their mouth so they can hold their breath. So we blow in their faces, right?
It's all a preparation
So then they hold
you
their
cannot
breath,
take a baby.
and that's how we put them underwater.
Exactly.
And we take them out softly. It's not a whole
like
process of down and up. No, there has to be a process for the baby to start getting used to the water.
I would be,
Your
I would
eyes,
be
you're
terrified.
like in utter panic.
I would be. I mean, that is, I mean, it's a science, and I know you guys know what you're doing. You've been doing this for such a long time, but
But the baby's with a parent. They're not just taking the baby and throwing them in the
she
pool.
said the
baby-
mother, the mother, the
Mother,
mother.
father, they'll be more than happy to let you go in with your grandsons.
I don't think I want to,
Why?
because it terrifies me to think that, oh my
But you're
God.
there with the baby.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You're
We
there
work
and
with
you're
the
holding.
parents.
The
It's
idea-
a slow process. It's
Yeah.
not terrifying at all, because the babies, they're not crying. We keep them calm. We use music. We use toys.
We
Your
have some-
kids
It's a
learn
really
to
nice
swim?
process.
Yeah.
How did your boys learn to swim?
I taught them.
You did?
Yeah,
How?
because I swim. I took him to the beach, and Freddie was 5 years older than Gio. And I went with him first, and then Gio. Gio actually was a very good swimmer, because he's lengthy. So I asked him to go out for the swim team, and he used to do laps and stuff.
How'd you
like that.
teach them to swim?
I don't know, the way they taught me. Don't put me on the spot. It's probably all wrong. They're the experts. Ask them.
Dr. Lee, did you teach your kids to swim?
Yeah, I think they're much older, but I have a good idea for you because I use acupuncture-induced delivery, and if in the water, I was thinking if a woman overdue like 40 weeks, and they want to induce the labor, maybe after acupuncture they can go swimming. Do you think that's
Induced
Exactly.
them.
The thing is, the water stimulate all the parts of the body, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be more easy. It's gonna be less painful, like a regular. It's not the same that you're sit down all day in the house or doing nothing, or maybe working or nothing. That doing a preparation to your body to do a really good delivery through the water.
yeah
But
because
the acupuncture for relaxation, but I guess it introduces the baby to the water, and there's a lot of moms that are doing home births in
it's a
water.
real process
Not
to,
my thing.
It's a process to put the baby in the water. It's not like throwing the water and that's it. No, it's really step by step that you have to do.
But I remember when my daughter first learned to swim, it was really traumatic. She was a baby, and we were in Texas, the same type of thing. And we started slow, and then that first time when they take the baby from you, and you're watching, and they go under the water, and you're like, oh my God, please, please, please get them back. It's a traumatic to watch your kid go underwater, and you're not there.
That's the thing. What we do all the time is we do a free evaluation to the parents, and we explain everything step that can be occur in the water. Most of the kids cry in the water, but the parents had to be prepared for this situation. Most of the times, the parents that try to take away the kids from the water, and that cannot happen. You have to be strong, psychologically strong, and say, okay, my kid's gonna cry on the first days because it's the first time they're gonna see somebody new. They don't know the instructor. For them, the pool is like a big sea, and they don't know what's going on in that moment. So we explain all this situation to the parents and try to finish all the program, because what happens is you take away the kids from the water when his or her start crying, it's going to be worse, because when you try to put back in the water to the kids, that cannot happen. They're
They'll
going to
be
start screaming,
terrified.
they're going to start crying, they're going to start throwing stuff, and then they're impossible to don't be in the water.
And you also do water therapy, and Dr. Lee, this goes so much with acupuncture, where you're talking about pain, rehabilitation, and neurological disorders, stroke, traumatic brain injury. So much of what you do in acupuncture, you're working in the water because of the buoyancy, right? So there's no pressure.
The density of the water is more easy for work with the heavy weight of the body. So when you do the different stimulation of the body, for example, you have a car crash or you have a case in your leg or something, it's going to be less painful in the water because you don't have the heaviness of your body
Buoyancy.
and the buoyancy. So it's going to be healthy for you.
Now, I heard that it's harder to learn to swim in a pool because there's less buoyancy than the ocean that has salt contents.
Exactly.
You float like an ice cube in the ocean.
And the wave of the sea is not going to help you to do the exercise very well. It's better a pool.
So you have to have balance.
Something happens.
And it takes a second to drown. It's just like, I mean, you can drown in 3 inches of water.
Yes.
Right?
The thing is that, some parents, they think that, oh, just because I know how to flow and I know how to swim from wall to wall, I'll be okay, my child's going to be okay. Well, that is not true. We have seen so many cases where you turn around and like a parent, turns around, they just give a second to the child and that's it. He or she is drowning. And the thing is that, yeah, your child might know how to swim back to the wall or float or go on the water and you can tell that he or she is okay, but it's not true.
Like not.
And you work with all different ages. You start with
Yes,
pregnancy, you go
we
up to
do.
kids, you do swim teams, after school, special needs,
Everything.
elderly and adults. My mom, and again, it's Dr. Lee, it helps stabilize blood pressure, blood circulation, everything that we're going to talk about with the acupuncture segment. Because as we get older, right, our blood doesn't circulate the right way, we've got cardiac issues, high blood pressure, and water helps with all of
Helps.
that.
Do you help people overcome their different fears? I hate walking on the beach, in the ocean. I wear shoes now, water shoes. I
Yeah,
hate it.
that's that we have the difference in David Hoyer Swim School because we take all of the persons, any age, that have trauma for being in the water or maybe at most drown in the water, any kind. We have seniors, people that spend 30 years with a pool in their bajak and never went over there because they was scared for the water.
Right.
And now they're enjoying the water because we treat this kind of affairs or they kind of trauma.
Where do you teach?
We go to their house or community pools, or they can go to our Boca Raton location in Palmetto with Lions.
How far south and north do you go?
I'm sorry?
How far will you go from the Boca area?
Oh, we went to Old Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami-Dade.
Oh, so you go all
Coral
over the
Gables. The
counties.
first city that we go is Coral Gables. It's the more far that we go.
Wow, I
Yeah.
need to send my mom to you, or you to
Your
my
mom doesn't swim, right?
So
My
we
mom
travel
does not
everywhere.
swim.
And our difference is that we teach 1 hour class. We don't teach 30 minutes, we don't teach 50 minutes. It's 1 hour class. 2 times of the week. The course is 8 lessons. So you have 6 levels, plus the team, the pre-teen and team. And when you finish the program, you're going to be an expert swimming.
But I even think for the adults and you say the elderly, and it's not even the swimming right at this point, but for what it's doing for their cardiovascular health,
Yeah.
and stress and anxiety and fitness level, right? You're not talking
Exactly.
about a baby drowning now. You're
No.
talking about different health conditions, and you and I talk about it all the time. How water is energy, and the movement of water just helps with so many things.
Exactly. We work for seniors that have cardiovascular situation or maybe blood pressure that can help to relax the stress. We work with people that want to have a really good body. The Swim Fit program is really good because you work all the whole body from the head to the toe. It's going to be really amazing. And we do with the special need kids. Usually, most of the school don't like to have a swim children with special needs. So we treat all these kids, and it's totally private. It's person to person, instructor and child. It's really private pool. You don't have to share the class with nobody, or have a bunch of kids, in different ages on different levels. It's really gonna be personal. We have group
like
class as well. But what we do is the clients look their own team, similar ages, similar swimming levels, so they have the group team.
How can people find your swim school?
You can find us in www.swimminglesson.us, or you can call us at 954-865-0842.
Now I gotta ask,
Okay.
why did you open up the school?
What?
Why did you open up the swim school?
Why I opened the swimming school? Well, when we came over here in Florida, the first time we see the situation that have a lot of drowning, and that's what our campaigns do. That's we are expert. We work this in more than 35 years.
You're
doing
third
this.
generation.
We're
Wow.
third generation of this.
Wow, that's a
So
long
we are-
time.
Started in
It's-
Venezuela.
It's a family business.
It's a
So
family
my
business.
siblings we all teach swimming, and we pass it on. We try to teach other instructors how to become lifeguards. We also work with the Red Cross. I feel like the reason why my parents wanted to continue this work is because we saw the difference that it make in our country, which is Venezuela, and how many kids learn not only swimming, other sports, and how it changed their lives. Drowning is such a big deal, You know, there's in Minnesota, there's water everywhere, and here in Florida is the same thing.
There's water everywhere. Here.
Everywhere you see, there's a pool, lake, beach.
And our goal is to create more swim instructors. It's not keep it for us. We want to give this knowledge and pass it on to another person that wanted to know how to teach how
Any
to
of you guys know
swim.
how to teach?
Do you teach swimming in the ocean or is it always in the pool?
It's always in the pool.
You never done it in the ocean?
Well, to learn how to swim, you gotta do
You
it
have
in
to
the
be in
pool.
this one. Even for apnea, even if you want to go to do for the army or wherever that you want to
Gotta
do in the
start in the
water in the
pool.
sea, you have to learn first in the pool.
And
So
what's
when
your
they
phone number?
One
Sorry.
time-
Well, hold on. So when they learn that, do you ever take them out
Yeah,
to
You
the
would
ocean?
take it to the ocean,
go to the
and
ocean
my
and-
husband is a Olympic coach. He teach two Olympic in apnea and open water, and he do that. We start first in the water in the pool, and then we teach them in the ocean.
Interesting.
What's your phone number?
My phone number is 954-865-0842, or you can see our website www.swimminglessons.us.
Stay tuned. We're going to go to commercial break. For questions, give us a call, 888-994-4995. When we come back, more with swimming, water safety, and we're going to talk to Dr. Lee about stress, acupuncture, everything,
And inflammation.
and inflammation. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
And we're back.
And we're back at the Brooklyn Cafe on...
I'm having
and
palpitations.
You're having palpitations. Well, it's a good thing because I'm reading about anxiety and stress and acupuncture as we're going to commercial break.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Relieving stress and anxiety.
Relieving stress and anxiety, and swimming is a great way to do it. It can induce stress, right? Watching your kids learn to swim, but ultimately, exercise in the water really helps alleviate stress. Give us a call at the studio, 888-994-4995. You can find us all over social media at the Brooklyn Cafe TV, where we Twitch, I almost called it Switch. Twitch, Periscope, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere you can find us at the Brooklyn Cafe. Today we are talking about swimming safety, anxiety, stress, because it is spring break, and whereas it's snowing all over the rest of the United States, we've got tornadoes, snowstorms, crazy Arctic blasts. It's 88 degrees in South Florida, and you know what? South Florida, California, people who live in South America and their time of the years are different, right? You said Venezuela is always near water. Florida, you're always near water. We have to teach our kids to swim. And if we don't teach our kids to swim, it's layers of responsibility. We also have Dr. Lee with us from Boca Acupuncture Clinic. Welcome back.
Thank you. And I think regarding the swimming, I want to mention that some patients with a stroke, they couldn't walk on the floor, but they can walk in the water. Yeah, so water therapy is so important for people who cannot move on the ground. But
Do you work with stroke victims and different traumatic brain injury?
yes, we use the needles to regenerate the nerves, but combining acupuncture and water therapy, it's a very good way to keep the muscle tone and regenerate the nerves.
It's actually something they use in professional sports, Major League Baseball, football. They have water therapy. They actually have you running. There's a treadmill inside the pool, and they put water waves on you and to create
Different
buoyancy
pressures.
and stuff. Yeah. It's like when a child drowns or somebody's in a hospital in a pool and things happen. Watch everything around you.
Panic.
Panic sets in. You know, I used to say when the hurricane was coming, panic will kill you.
Panic.
A panic will kill you because you're not thinking.
You
And if
see
you're
a
not
child
thinking,
going down,
you got to know what to do.
panic.
That's right. You got to know how to address it. And the only way to do, you may be the only calm person in the room. We had this conversation. My mother was choking on chicken bones, and I'm banging on the door trying to get in. And she was surrounded by 8 grown-ups. None of them knew what to do. They were all crying hysterically. She's turning blue, and I knocked the door down. Finally, I got through, and I did the Heimlich. I think I cracked a rib because I was there late. It came out, and she was fine. So I'm looking around at all 8 of these individuals. Says, you know what? You're going to kill her because you're panicking. You're not listening to your body. You're not listening to what's going on.
Do you teach, God forbid a child goes down, do you teach rescue?
Yes.
We do. We actually, when we start working with the kids, some parents, it's important for them to know CPR, to know what to do in cases where their child, is drinking water and is drowning or whatever the case is, to know CPR. As parents, I feel like it's very important to, like you were saying about your mom, you know exactly what to do, and it's important to teach CPR.
You know what I'm impressed with Allison? She's 19, all of 19, and she's listening to you talk, and she's coming back with the answer to what you say.
But she's right.
She's absolutely right, but how many people, and honestly, think about the level of responsibility that you have at 19 to be teaching kids to swim, engaging the conversation with you as an adult, and understanding what you're saying and having a response.
That's right.
It's really, really impressive.
And-
You hear these incidents on the news where your kids are out of the water, even teenagers, right? They've gone swimming, they've gone diving, and they come out and they just don't feel right, and they go to bed. And unfortunately, sometimes they just don't wake up.
Yeah, that's a myth. Okay, usually when they say secondary drowning, that's not true. Sometimes the secondary drowning happen because they already have some situation in the lungs or some kinds of water in the lungs, and that when the swimming and the waving and the exercise, this pour out, and that happened the secondary drowning. But that is not a cause because they drink so much water in the pool. When you teach swimming lessons, it's like when you ride a bike of the first time. You can fall so many times. You can have a little boo-boos in the knees or something, but it's not something that are gonna die for that. Okay, the most that can happen with the babies and when you teach how to swim in a proper way, okay, is then go to the bathroom and do some pee-pee. That's it. The secondary drowning is because they already have some situations that the parent don't notice before, and the lungs start going to filling of water, and that coming for the drowning.
It's like you were telling me that you had to prepare to be a scuba diver, get your lungs bigger because
Exactly.
I'm not prepared.
Exactly.
And there's also where people will have things happen after a day of exercise and they blame the exercise. But the body was carrying something that nobody was aware of, and oof, I mean, it happens. My grandfather died of a brain clot.
Exactly. Something that's already there that nobody noticed.
Right.
And with the water and drinking a little more water and the excitement of being in the pool or being in the beach, whatever situation, the secondary drowning happen. But it's not because they drink a lot of water. You can drown even drinking so much water. When you have a bunch of water coming to your face,
Like boarding.
exactly, and all go through your lungs, you're gonna have a drowning. But the secondary drowning is not true. It's a myth.
And tell us again the phone number for David Swim School.
It's 954-865-0842.
And we're talking infant swimming as well as pool safety, because you know what? It takes the layers to keep your kids safe. Give us a call. We're switching over in 2 and 2.
4.
We'll be right back.